folks, Jonathan here. I'm driving the Studebaker. Just wanted to take it on a test drive since I had the exhaust done on it. I don't do any exhaust because I don't have a bender. I used to run an exhaust shop many moons ago, but for about a year, and you know, doing it's not the issue, but if you don't have anything to bend with, then you're in trouble. But I went with 1 3/4 inch. I wanted to go back with the original size pipe, nice quiet muffler. You know, about all you can hear up here is a little bit of lifter tap, which is normal for a car this old. Runs good. I think what we're going to do next week, I'm going to pull the radiator out. I've got a company that's going to recore it for me because I can't find a replacement for it, and I don't want to put a used one in it. So anyway, that's the plan on this. I'm just going to slowly keep working on it. We'll probably, I'm debating on painting it. I'm probably going to. If we do, we're going to go back with that Rio green that's on it, and maybe try to, I've never done it, but see if we can smooth these out. I know there's some fitting and stuff in them. I don't know how you know how good these take body work, but and maybe just repaint that stuff silver. And same way with the bumpers and anything else that, you know, I don't have that's in good shape and can't get re-chromed. Now I did replace these. These are not new, they're re-chromed, but they're in good shape. But I do have an oil leak I still got to fix on the valve cover, and that's below the intake exhaust. It's just a small leak that I definitely want to take care of before I go too far. I had a really good comment. I'm going to try not to ramble on and on here, but I had a really good comment from somebody about the interior. At the cruise in the other night, I had a guy that came up and said that you know, he knew that I had done the interior, and I was standing beside him, and he looked in and said that he could sure tell that that wasn't the first time I ever done an interior. But you know, I had to let him know that this was the first one I'd ever done, which was a really good compliment for me. So anyway, she's still looking good. Headliner's still in there and hanging on, and no issues whatsoever. So like I said, you know, the old car runs and drives really well. It's really quiet, no rattling and stuff like that, and that's one of the good things about it. You know, you get an older car, you start getting a lot of rattles and stuff in them, and this one here is nice and solid. And besides the rust that's on it, you know, it's a really nice car. But anyway, I'm going to show you the floors on the 56J, the other Studebaker, where we're at on that. Okay, we do have the floors completely done in here. I've got to do the rockers yet. I do have new rockers for it. We keep throwing this daggone carpet back in there and hoping that it grows on us, and it's just not working. I thought maybe if I went and got about a case of beer and drank it, it would look better, but I can't get past 2 beers anyway. So anyway, so floors are all done. Everything's welded up, sealed up, good to go. But until I figure out something about this carpet, I don't know what I'm going to do. And like I said, I've still, you know, I've got the bottoms of the back seat covered. I've still got to finish the front seat up. Door panels are terrible, and a lot more little stuff to do here. But anyway, we're going to keep playing with this on and off. But we've got this cleaned off, and we're back to playing with it. About ready to tear it back down as soon as we get this upper A-frame situation figured out. And I was playing with the headers a little bit. We took the bowed headers that we had that was came up and back and cut them all apart, and I went ahead and done this side, just tacked them on. But that's all it's going to be. Now that pipe I had to run farther back so it would clear this frame rail, but that's all we're going to run on it. I'm not going to put any more than that. You know, I kind of got disgusted on this project because I get carried away. What started out as let's throw a big block in a Triumph ended up being way more than that. You know, built a frame, narrowed it, or narrowed the rear, everything. You know, I'm not building this for NHRA tech spec and all that crap. So the point is we're going to dial it down a little bit on it. We're going to try to get it together and finished. Okay, I did a little bit of changing. I added some pipe to them and brought them out at that angle because I didn't want the heat to come back into the body. So maybe that'll blow it out a little bit, but they're not all even or nothing like that. This is just scrap pieces and parts we're throwing together. But I'll tie all them together and then I'll pull that off and weld it all up. And I've got them down to where they won't, hopefully it won't trap any heat up in the body. We're going to start on this side, but you know, my biggest thing right now, and it's been a sort of a hindrance to me, is to figure out what I'm going to do on these A-frames. I was able to find some 14mm bolts that were long enough to put lock nuts on, so I can machine me some pieces to put on the rack and pinion, but I kind of want to raise the rack and pinion up. What I want to do is, whatever the height is from this lower ball joint, the pivot to the pivot here, I'll measure that and find out what it is, and that's what I want this to mount from here. In other words, I want my pivot of this to be the same as the pivot of that, so, or the same distance height. So if this is, you know, let's just say it's 3 inches, then from here up I want my rack, the center of my rack, to be 3 inches, and hopefully that'll help out on the bump steer, which we can, you know, change a few things and raise the rack. That's not a big issue. We've got plenty of clearance and room for that. So we're going to hold off on that and try to get these A-frames figured out. I think we've got the weight-wise, the coilovers, I think everything's good there. I think we'll be fine on the front suspension. Our lower A-frame is totally boxed. It's plenty strong enough. We got a, you know, a Corvette lower ball joint, and I made new Delrin bushings for the bottom A-frame. I also increased the bolt size from 3/8 to 7/16 on the lower bolts to get some little strength in it. And we just got to figure out this upper. I really got to get on them upper A-frames. That's what the biggest holdup is, and what's bothering me the most here. Just not sure what I want to do and how I want to do them. I've got 100,000 ideas in my head. I just don't know which one to go with. You know, clear to just making new A-frames. I mean, I don't know. I could go, you know, I could build some tubular A-frames, but we got to do something for the pivots. I don't have enough Delrin to make the bushings, but you know, if I could wait and get more. Just not sure what to do, and kind of makes it a pain. I could use what I got, but our A-frames are going to be facing up. It's not a bad thing, because when the front end comes down, it's, you know, it would actually put weight on it. It would change the camber quite a bit, but it's not that really big of an issue on this thing, you know, for what we're doing. And so they would work where they're at, but I just don't like it. You know, I don't like the whole situation of it. They'll be facing, you know, pretty steep if I do that. So we'll keep working with it, figure something out. Alright, we're playing with the new rat rod. I'm not, Noah is. I had to go on some tows, and when I left I told him to clean it up, and I think he thought I said cut it up. So now he's got it all cut up in pieces. But anyway, we are going to do some changing on this, and that's what we're working on right now. And we had to cut out a little more than I wanted to. It was a little rusty and a little pack full of Bondo, so we're going to have to rebuild these upper quarters back. But we're going to use the rear section of this, and keep watching the video. You'll see what we're going to do. Alright, okay folks, we're through cutting apart, and now we're putting back together. We took 6.5 inches out of the center and brought it together. It was 56 and we went 49.5. So now we're going to get it welded back together, tacked back together to where it'll stay, and keep moving along. Alright, okay folks, so here's where we're at. Well, not much of anywhere on here. We cut the rockers off, but what we're running into on this thing is the body so bad, so much Bondo. You see it's about almost half-inch thick there. But where we're running into problems, I wanted to narrow this tailpan and still use it, but it's not really going to be possible. As you can see, like down here, we was trying to grind it so we could get to the metal to weld it, and there's no metal there. It's all just Bondo. So we're going to replace this whole tailpan. And I understand you're going to use Bondo, but when there's no metal under it, that just means the water's going to get under there and it's going to bubble the paint, soak in. So we've got to do something about that, but we'll redo the tailpan. So we're getting ready to make some big leaps on it here. Trying to get some of the stuff cleaned up and straightened up. But anyway, and you know, I know a lot of people said that they'd rather see me build it, but you know, it's just, there's just way too much Bondo and stuff in it for me. It's bad enough these quarters are going to be bad, but we're going to get a lot of bit out, patch a lot of stuff. So, alright, let me show you more here shortly. Okay folks, we're working on putting these two bodies together, making a roadster. But we've got to take off. Went ahead and cut it here, that way we could have these just in case. But I want to go ahead and remove them. That way we can get a little bit more distance back, because we're running into issues with length up here. So we either have to move the firewall, turn it around when we get ready to do it, or lengthen the frame a little bit, which either one would be easy. The frame just dropped down so much, but it's good and, you know, just straight. Looks like 2x4 tubing. We'll still have the box inside. We're just trying to get an idea of what this thing would look like if we went this direction with it. But anyway, we've got a lot more planned to do before it ever becomes a car. Alright, keep messing with it. Okay folks, we've gotten about all we're going to get done today. Not sure if I like it yet or not, but you know, we can do some transitions to make it look better, and actually may end up having to lower the body down over the frame farther and cut out for the radius rod heading to the front, because I don't like seeing that frame sticking down. You hear Noah leaving. Alright, I hadn't pulled off the hubcap yet to see what they've done here, but as you can see, the wheel spins, the hubcap don't. So they just have to have this hooked into the end of the spindle somehow. I'll figure that out before it's over with. Alright, we got it together as far as we're going to get it tonight. And we still need to lower the body down a little bit. And I think I'm going to do away with that bead. What they've done is they've used brake line tubing and put it around it and welded it and then bondoed it. So I think what we'll do is cut that off and bring that quarter down to match the bottom of this body, or at least bring it down some, because I don't like it getting, you know, that close to that line. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to build a new piece that we're going to cut this off, build a new piece that comes out and around across and up the other side, and then we'll have to work with our patches for the quarters here, and then our piece that goes in between, and then our trunk lid. That shouldn't be an issue there. And we've got the doors overlapping, and of course you remember the doors don't match the beads from one side to the other, so we may or may not do something about that. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. It's not that big of an issue on this car because we're not real worried about it. But we've got to go down with the body about, I think we'll go down about 2 more inches, and we're going to have plenty of room because of the way they've done this frame, this kick down on this frame. So we're going to have to cut up in here so we don't hit our bars. So we'll bring this up and build us some windshield posts and a windshield frame and get a piece of glass cut for it. We'll probably just build a stationary and you know, something that's permanent, and then get the glass cut and maybe just leave the glass with no edge at the top where it slides down in and glues in. If we can get them to grind it right and make it look good on top of the glass. But anyway, came a long ways in one day, but we'll figure out what we're going to do. If we get too tired of it, we'll just crush it. Alright, appreciate it. Bye.